Your mead's finished fermenting. You've racked off the sediment and the mead's looking all clear. Now what? Don't just chug from the demijohn, we're going to be putting your mead into some nice bottles. So, for this final stage, it's important that we remember what we covered in video 1 of the series. It would be a real shame if you were to infect your mead at this final stage. So remember, you need to sanitize everything that touches your mead. This includes things that hold your mead, like the bottles that we're going to be putting them in. If this is your first go at making mead, just pouring your sanitizer between bottles and leaving them for the contact time is absolutely fine. However, this is quite inefficient. If you're serious about this hobby, I would recommend picking up a bottle washer and a bottle tower. When using both, it allows for quick sanitizing as well as thorough drying of your bottles. Now, bottle-wise, I would recommend glass for one simple reason. Glass allows less permeation of oxygen, this meaning your mead will maintain a delicious flavour and colour. When it comes to choosing which type of bottle you use, that's up to you. I personally would recommend though for beginners that beer bottles using caps is the easiest. 330ml bottles, known also as 12-ounce bottles, take 26mm caps, so be sure to get your caps and bottles that match each other. For extra longevity of your mead, check your caps are crown caps that have an oxygen-proof layer. For capping a 330ml bottle, you'll need a capper. These come in a handheld form as well as a bench style. For this video, I'll be using the cheaper handheld capper, as it's the only capper I own. I personally haven't had any issues with the handheld capper, so give it a try. You can also use larger wine style bottles. Now, while champagne bottles can take larger 29mm caps, the most common bottling solution you'll be using for wine bottles is corks. There are two types of corkers, much like cappers, a handheld version and a bench version. I heard the handheld corkers were difficult to use, so instead I'll be using a bench corker. There are two main varieties of corks, traditional corkwood corks and synthetic corks. Synthetic corks are absolutely fine for meads that you'll be drinking within 2 years from bottling, but for meads you want to age for longer than that, corkwood corks are recommended. This is due to the corkwood allowing for a tighter seal and keeping oxygen out of the bottle for a longer period of time. A small note on how many bottles you can get out of a batch. For a 5-litre batch, which is 1.3 US gallons, you'll get 7 wine bottles maximum and 14 smaller 330 bottles. So you can order your sizes appropriately. Quick note on sanitizing caps and corks. With caps, you don't want to sanitize them if they have the oxygen barrier layer that I spoke about, since the sanitizer can perforate the barrier, making it useless. With corks, you don't want to sanitize corkwood corks, as the cork will absorb the sanitizer, causing it to swell. You can dip synthetic corks in sanitizer briefly, as these are non-porous and the coating of the sanitizer solution can help the cork slide into the neck of a bottle. Okay, great. Now we've covered bottles, caps, corks and their respective bottling instruments. Now let's talk about the actual transferal of the liquid. We are of course going to be using our trusty auto siphon that we used to rack our mead earlier in the series. But this time, we're going to be adding a simple and effective solution for controlling the flow of your mead. A bottling wand. A bottling wand, also known as the far less cool sounding bottling stick or bottle filler, is a small attachment that goes on the end of your auto siphon. This will stop mead from flowing until the wand is pressed against the bottom of a bottle. All you need to do to stop the flow is pull the wand up so that the small lever can be put into its resting position. So let me show you how to bottle a smaller 330 and a larger wine bottle. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using a dummy mead, as I currently don't have any ready to bottle, so this is just water with food colouring. Once my auto siphon and bottling wand have been sanitized, both inside and out, I attach the bottling wand to the end of the siphon. Now I begin to pump the siphon in my mead to get the flow going. You may find that the bottling wand creates a vacuum effect, and you have to push the lever down on a bottle whilst also pumping the siphon. Now you have a steady flow of mead. You can fill your bottles. It's worth remembering the wand takes up space in the bottle. So when you pull it out, it will lower the level of your mead. So fill slightly higher than you think you'll need, and when you remove your wand, it will be the perfect level. Finally, let's seal our bottles. Starting with the simpler beer bottle, take a cap, ideally stored in an airtight bag, and place it on top of the bottle. Then take your capper and align the central piece with the cap. Now slowly begin to pull the arms down on the capper. It'll firstly grip both sides of the bottle, securing it. Continue pushing and you'll find it'll give way. Release your pressure and check the cap has an airtight seal by turning your bottle upside down. Perfect! Now onto the wine bottles. For this demonstration I'm using corkwood corks. Place the bottle on the bench, ensuring that the neck of the bottle aligns with the hole for the cork. Once aligned, place your cork into the hole and slowly begin to pull on the lever until the little pusher touches the cork. Then place a consistent and sufficient amount of pressure on the lever and release, and your cork should slide directly into the neck of the bottle, sealing it tightly. Again, turn your bottle upside down to check it's airtight. Repeat whichever bottling option you prefer, then store your mead until you want to enjoy it. Congratulations, you've completed your first mead. This concludes the Basics series. You're now equipped with all of the core concepts needed to make a standard mead. But you want more than standard, don't you? If you wish to create meads that'll impress your friends, family, and even the Vikings themselves, be sure to subscribe, as in the coming weeks I'll be releasing my next series, Trailblazers, which will cover more concepts in mead making that will speed up fermentation time, create a cleaner tasting mead, and how to do more complex things such as adding flavours after fermentation has concluded. Exciting stuff. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best luck in your mead making adventures.